Hello world, welcome to Real Talk Barca, and this is Let's Talk Barca. So, I'd like to apologize for the last episode. In the last episode, I said I was going to do three profiles. I'm going to start with Fati, Pedri, and then Gavi. It was getting too long, so I did not do the Gavi. So we're gonna get straight into Gavi. Okay, guys. So we're gonna do Gavi, then we're gonna do Nico, and once we're gonna look at how Koeman is going to help improve and what we should be really looking for as we watch for the development over the next three games in particular. Okay, so let's get into it. So, like I was saying yesterday in the last episodes, and then come to find out that it has been reported in the news, the next three games coming back from break are going to be the most important. Now, Koeman is they're saying that they're talking about the winning and so forth, but I don't think the winning is necessarily what we're really looking for. We're looking for how these guys play together, right? So now we're gonna look at Gavi. So with Gavi's future is going to be on the right interior. All right, so Pedri's got the left interior, so Gavi's going to be controlling the right interior. Now, right now, it's going to be difficult to see too much from Gavi on the right interior, simply because there is nobody really in front of Gavi on the right. Now, when Dembele comes back, that right hand side is his, right? Because Dembele has the ability to cut back in on the left or stay out wide with his right footed because he's two footed. That will give Gavi and Dembele a 1-2 combination with Des on the overlap. The same way I discussed that we would have with Pedri, Fati, and Jordi Alba on the right. We won't really get to see that until we have Gavi, Dembele, and Dest, right? So right now, because we don't have any right winger, we have absolutely no other right winger. Nobody's able to play on the right. Everybody else is pretty much a left winger on our team. So that's going to hurt us for now. So what we're going to be looking at Gavi, he's going to have to still recycle the ball, retain the ball. So we need to see that toughness, which I absolutely love from Gavi. And I think every Barcelona fan should be absolutely excited by the toughness and fight that you see in Gavi. Gavi's toughness and fight is unmatched in a 17-year-old. You find me another 17-year-old anywhere across Europe that is willing to chase down another grown man and give him a shoulder to shoulder, knock the grown man on his behind, and get a yellow card, right? How many 16-year-olds do you see doing that to grown men? That doesn't happen, and that should show you the type of lion that's within Gavi. So Gavi is very important, and I'm gonna say next to Fati, Gavi is key. Like Gavi's fight is very key. Gavi is the next true captain of Barcelona. Fati might be the figurehead, he might be the number 10, but Gavi is that Xavi leader, right? So once we just have to allow him to go out there. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to turn over the ball. He's going to cost us some goals. He might even cost us the game. I mean, we have El Clasico. We're probably going to have to play him. And he's got to go against Modric. So if he goes against Modric and Modric uses a veteran tactic or causes him to get exposed, you know what I mean? And we can't just sit here and be like, oh my gosh, Modric killed us. Modric killed us. Yeah, because guess what? Modric is a seasoned veteran going against, like, Modric, I think, has actually been playing soccer longer than Gavi's been alive. You know what I mean? So he knows more tricks than Gavi is more experienced. You know what I mean? So we have to understand, like, and then that's the same thing when I refer to Nico. Like, we have to understand, like, there are going to be holes that are created. And if we sit here and attack Koeman and say, well, why did this happen? Why was this hole created? Why was this? You're a horrible coach. You're a horrible coach. He has to say that's not coaching. Nico didn't run. Like, I can look and see. If you look, anybody looks at it, you can see Nico pull up. You could see him pull up. He wasn't, first of all, he wasn't tracking back. If you look at the way Arujo was running back, Arujo ran past Nico. He ran past both Busquets and Nico. Arujo. Because remember, Arujo was on Felix. And then he ran past everybody and caught up to Lamar just as he was going to shoot, right? And Busquets and Nico weren't even in the picture. So you can see this. This was obvious, right? PK was just so slow, he didn't even make a move towards him. So you could see this, right? So when Koeman makes these statements about Nico, you know what I mean? It's not that he's attacking Nico. It's that when we as the fan base, we as the press attack a clear and blatant error, and we blame it on the coach. The coach has to respond. He can, what else is he gonna say? You know what I mean? You're trying to get him fired, right? So if he says, okay, yeah, that's all my fault, then they're just gonna use that and say, oh look, see, Koeman admits that he can't coach Nico, and he should be fired tomorrow. Like it's really, this is really insanity. So this is why all the Barca fan channels need to stop with this Koeman out nonsense, because that doesn't allow him to coach the kids, because you're undermining him, right? So when he's saying, Nico, you got to hustle back, and you're telling, and the media and everybody's saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, do you think the kid's gonna say, let me hustle back? He's gonna say, no, I'm not gonna hustle. You don't know what you're talking about. Look, the press, everybody in the press says, everybody in the fan channels say, and you guys are, and it's just insanity. Stop. Right? So we need these guys to learn. We need them to make mistakes. That's going to cost us games. It's going to cost us points. It's okay. We have to let them play. They're kids. We're going to lose some of these big games early on, but the hope is come March, come April, now they've made the mistakes. Do you remember Elias Moriba from last year? He cost us a game when he made a pass into the center, and they scored a goal that cost us a point. But guess what? Koeman didn't give up on him. Koeman kept playing him, and then near the end of the year, he wasn't making those mistakes. He was doing what he had to do. The same type of thing, guys. Right? And everybody complains, like, remember, last year we had Pedri and we have Elias. Now, Elias left, right? But guess what? We made money off of Elias, right? We made money off of Elias. So him leaving, Koeman developing him, saved Barca a whole lot of money. Now, it would have been nicer to have him, but guess what? He didn't want to stay. That's fine. So we have credible evidence that Koeman can develop these kids. He's developed Pedri. He's developed Elias, where we were able to get for 17, $30 million, $20 million for a 17-year-old. Whatever we got for him, we got money for this kid. He was a good kid, and he would have fit into our system. Now we have Gavi. And you can clearly see Koeman is ready to play Gavi. So getting back to the rest of this profile with Gavi, what we have to see and what we're looking to see is we're going to have to wait till Dembele gets back and give Gavi, Dembele, and Dest time to develop the triangles on the right-hand side. So we discussed how we're going to have all those triangles on the left-hand side. Then we have triangles on the right-hand side. Once again, same type of principle applies. We're going to have to see now when the ball is attacking down the right, Gavi do the same things I mentioned with Pedri. Find the lanes, the nifty through passes, late runs into the box, taking up the late box. Even sometimes when Fati drives to the touchline on the left, instead of Pedri making the late runs, Pedri might have to fall back and Gavi make the late runs right to the edge of the box, so that cutback is there. It's like I said, the same thing. We're placed in that space that Messi always got those little goals with the left footer. Now Gavi's not a left footer; he's a right footer, so that might be a little different. But he's got to find ways to get into that space or make those runs and get those little nifty little goals that we're going to be reliant on. All right, so. In the meantime, that's where we're going to be watching Gavi, because the tackle going to be coming down the left, and we're going to watch Gavi from the interior right to see how he either integrates himself onto the tackle in the left, or he's then is able to now be a connector to take the ball from the left to the right to Dest, right? So right now we only have Dest really on the right, so it's going to throw through Gavi, maybe De Jong on that right end, because right now Gavi's sort of playing as our right winger, but his real position will be interior mid. So his interior right mid is really where we want to see Gavi. So Gavi would take that Xavi space, great placement for him, very similar profile. We have a gem, okay? Lastly, before we head out, I'm just going to end up here now discussing what the future holds for Barcelona. So here's my belief. That report that came out about Eric Ten Hag coming in, wanting Dani Olmo, wanting Holland, those things all make sense, right? Wanting Delit. If you look at the players they mentioned, you add those kids into the kids we have, and look at the formation that Koeman is going to, and that is our future, right? we would literally have roughly 12 to 13 kids all under the age of 24, 25 years old, ready to go, all with the necessary experience to play in the position. So we would have Delit and Arujo with our Eric Garcia or Longley in the back three or back two, depending on how you want to go with it. We already have our wing backs, right? So we would just add wing backs. So you have Des, you have Jordi Alba you could stay with, and then you have Balde coming up. So you're okay with the wing backs because Des's ability to play on either side really does help a lot. And then you go through. Then you look in the midfield. You got De Jong, Ryan Gravenberch. You add him and De Jong. They already have a chemistry with playing from Ajax and also playing on the Dutch national team. Then you're adding Gavi and Pedri and Nico. So now you're adding those things, and now you have midfielders that have creativity, size, athleticism, prowess all along our midfield. Then you go to our creativity, and then you go into our also attacking. So then we would have Dani Olmo, who has a similar style of play to the Dutch. He playing on Salzburg. You can see him. He's also from the Barca Academy, so he is part of our system. He does understand the way we play and our movements. You got Fati, who's also played with Dani Olmo in the Academy, right? And then you're adding Dembele, who's getting his experience now. Memphis Depay, right? And then you add in that big, tall guy. It's very similar to this guy that we already have now, Luke de Jong. You know that guy, but a guy that's 1,000 times better. But guess what? Playing with Luke de Jong is going to give us an opportunity now, especially the young kids, to play with that style of big man in the system. Just that now when Haaland comes next summer, we have a guy who's faster and better. So now the passes, the vision, everything is better. So now imagine that attack. So you have Fati, right? You can play Fati on the left. You could play Dembele on the right, or Olmo on the right. And then you have Haaland in the center. And off the bench, you have guys like, Memphis. You have Memphis. You might have, maybe Pedri on the bench. Maybe Ryan Gravenberch comes in and starts as one of the holders, right? We would have so many options. And if you look, our relationship with Ajax means that we can get all those players for cheap. Like all those, we got Frank de Jong from Ajax at a great price. We could have bought De Ligt, right? Now, if you look, thing already has a buyer clause of 75 million. So the idea now is to save our money, play well, improve the players, go after everybody. Cruyff has a plan. They have a plan. All right. Also, I'd like to thank everybody for taking this episode in. So this is episode 2, part 2. So thank everybody. And once again, for those who know, you know. You don't know, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you disagree, let's debate it.